lesson and a little bit of examples of how to convert using the metric system. So the metric system, as we spoke in class, as we talked about in class, the metric system is used for 3 basic units: grams, liters, and meters. The abbreviations for grams is G, liters is L, meters is M. Grams is used to measure the mass, liters is used to measure volume, and meters is used for length. So grams, liters, and meters are the base unit, so they count as 1. And if you go to the left side, these units start becoming bigger. But not only they become bigger, we also start changing the prefix to the base word. So here you only have grams, the G, but when you go to deca, you actually have to get the first letter, so capital D, A, because deca, and also because there's another word with D. So deca, D-A-G. For hecto will be H-G, kilo, K-G, first letter. And then the same thing on the other side. Deci will be D-G, centi, C-G, and then milligram. Now, to put things into perspective, let's use the base word grams. So when we're, let's say, measuring how heavy this marker is or this eraser is, we'll probably want to use grams. So to measure a marker, we would probably use grams. But if we're trying to measure a human being like you and me, we'll probably use kilograms. To measure human. And we will probably use milligrams for like maybe 1 drop. But you would want to ask yourself, Miss, why are we going to measure 1 drop? Well, scientists in labs sometimes have to use only 1 drop. So it is very important that we have units that are able to adapt to our needs. So let's work on a problem. Let's say you have 348 milligrams and you want to go to grams. You don't know how many grams are in 348 milligrams. So the first step is, are you multiplying or dividing? Well, milligrams is right over here because of the M. So we're starting right over here. And we want to go to grams, which will be right over here. So we're starting here, we're going there. If we're going to the left side, that means we're going to a larger unit, which means we have to move to the left. Therefore, divide. So to answer our question, we have to divide. Okay. How many steps? Well, 1 step is here, 2 steps is here, 3 steps. So we have to divide. I also know we have to take 3 steps. Okay. And then step number 3 is, since metric system is based on power of 10, write 1. So every step you take, the difference is by 10. So 10, 100, 1,000, power of 10. So I'm gonna write down 1 over here. Step 4, add zeros after the 1. The amount of zeros is the number of steps. So how many zeros do I have to add? The amount of steps I have. So 1, 2, 3. And then we have to solve. So I know that I have 348 milligrams. And I have to divide by how much? By 1,000. Once I divide by 1,000, it will be 0.348. My new units will be grams. And that's all you do. Let's do another one. So we have 108 decameters. How many centimeters do I have? Okay, so step number 1, are you multiplying or dividing? And the way we can answer this question is, are we moving to the left or to the right? So decagrams is right here, centimeters is right over here, so that means we're going to the right. And if you're going to the right, that means that you want a smaller unit. And if you want a smaller unit, you need to move to the right, which means you have to multiply. So I'll write down 1, I need to multiply. Okay, 2, how many steps are you taking? We'll erase this part. How many steps are you taking from decameters to centimeters? 1, 2, 3. 3 steps. You're taking 3 steps. Third question is, since metric system is based on power of 10, write 1. So our third step is to write 1. Step 4, add zeros after the 1. The amount of zeros is the number of steps. So how many steps I took? I took 3. So that means I'm going to go add my 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. Solve. Solve is our very last one. So that means that I will go and get my 108 decameters. And I am going to multiply it by 1,000. And that would be 108,000 centimeters. And that's all you do. One thing I want to point out is that for every step you take, either between centi and deci, deci and the unit, each step is a 10 times difference, meaning that the unit to the left will be 10 times bigger, and the unit to the right will be 10 times smaller. Left is always the bigger unit, the right is always the smaller unit. So even if you're working with milli and centi, there's going to be a 10 times difference. Now, if you're taking 2 steps, there's going to be an 100 times difference, meaning that kilo is 100 times bigger than deca, and deca is 100 times smaller than kilo. And if you do 3 steps, it's 1,000 times difference. The easiest way to remember this is that for every step you take, you're going to add a 0. So in this case, if we take 3 steps, that means we're going to have 3 zeros. 2 steps, 2 zeros, and then 1 step, only 1 0.